Well, good afternoon, YTPC. It is Saturday afternoon. It's about 5 p.m. and this is Dave coming to you from Southern Maryland. It's about 55 degrees out. Kind of a light drizzle, kind of a gray day. So once again, we are kind of confined to the front porch. But that's worked for us before. It'll work for us today. All right, business before pleasure. Here's the Meerschaum. As always, I'll just keep showing it. What's in it today? A new acquisition I showed you the other day. Cage Cove Cavendish from Gatlin Burlier. This comes as a recommendation from one of you, and so far I've got to say it's pretty good. I'm only about 5 minutes in, but this is my first bowl, and it tastes pretty good. So I'm a little bit late today for a very good reason. A few years ago, I started a CEO mentoring program, maybe a life coach kind of program. It depends on where the mentees want to take the meetings. But today was the meeting for December. It'd been a couple months because I was gone in Wyoming, and I don't do them remote. We sit together and do this face to face. It's a 4 or 5 hour session. 3 of my regulars were there today. So my hat's off to say welcome again to Adam, to Jack, to Carlos. All of them on making progress on becoming successful members of the 1% Club. So what am I drinking today? Today it's a gift from my guys. So a little Crown Royal Peach. Never heard of it. How bad can it be? It's Crown. So it's got that beautiful gold color. That's tasty. On the rocks. Crown on the rocks. Never disappoints. I've been told I need to try the salted caramel. You guys know me. I'm always willing to try recommendations. So you'll probably see that on the channel over the next few weeks. A little bit of Crown Peach. Maybe a little bit of Crown salted caramel. So guys, I'm pretty unprepared for this afternoon. I've done no watching of any of your videos, which is very rare for me. And I've glanced through, but not really paid much attention yet to the comments you've given me over my videos over the last 24, 28 hours. I just haven't been able to get to it. Fair amount of prep on my part to get ready for the meetings. And then basically 100% of my attention is in that room out of the respect that my guys put together and getting their life updates put together. So they get my full attention from about 8:30 in the morning to whenever we close. We do it inside my car warehouse. It's a fun place. If you want to feel motivated, sit amongst all the supercars and nice cars. If you're a car guy at all, it's a little bit of an inspirational way to do it. So guys, you saw that Greg Tunnell actually went out and bought like 6 copies of the book I recommended, and then asked me to give out some of the big ones, some of the ones that were most effective, so you could give page numbers to maybe get people to read the book. So I thought I'd do that a little bit here. I'd do one of them. Remember, the intent is to read these in the morning, kind of get your head right, get your head in the right space before you head out into the day. wade out into the unwashed masses of humanity. But one of the most influential ones for me is on January 28th, page 28. You can decide within yourself how circumstances will affect you. Between what happens to you, or the stimulus, and your response to it is your freedom or power to choose that response. So that's just that little bit from that day. So for me, that was one of the most influential parts of the book, or days in the book. It plays a huge role in the 7 habits. The concept is that there's a gap between what happens to us in our day and how we choose to respond to it in our day. And within that gap is where we define ourselves. And that really stuck with me. And the exercise is to widen that gap. You know, the example is if somebody walks up and punches you, you just punch them right back. That's what the most immature, lowest level response is. The unthought out, no time, no gap. You hit me, I hit you back. As we mature in age, we're supposed to widen that gap. Somebody hits you, you stand back and who hit me? Why did they hit me? How do I want to respond to this? Then you continue to widen it and say, what will my response say to the other people in my life? And then you say, how do I wish to be viewed by others in my life, and let my response map to that? This concept of the gap comes from another book written back in the concentration camp days by Viktor Frankl. It's called Man's Search for Meaning, and that entire book is about how he survived his ordeal in the camps during World War II. He seems to be the one who penned the concept of this gap and our ability to define ourselves in the gap, and that we get to choose. No one can ever take that away from us. We get to choose how we respond to the world. I thought it was especially relevant in today's world. Just because the world is choosing to remove some of the values that I hold dear to myself and swapping to what I consider perverse and unhealthy mores and morals doesn't mean I have to change with it. It also means I don't have to respond meanly or angrily or demeaningly to the other person or to whatever's changing out there. I can choose what my response is and how that response is manifested or put out into the world. And I hope, no matter how much I disagree with somebody and their actions or their activities or their morals, I'm hoping I can respond in a logical, meaningful, and maybe even in a kind way. I'm not particularly good at that. I'm much better than I was 5 or 10 years ago, but that doesn't mean I'm good at it. Thanks, guys. That is good. As the ice melts, it gets a little better. Wow, that's really tasty. I can feel, I think it's easy for us to feel as a group that maybe we're Sisyphus, always, damned to roll the rock ever up the hill. The rock being kind of the morals and values of our country, and the Hill being this new approach to lower values and more depraved activities being approved and even rewarded in the world today. One thing I'd like to see is try to roll the rock back up the hill a bit is on this cancer culture. I'll get it. Hold on a second. Alcohol will help. Stop. Rewind. One of the things I would like to see is try to roll back up the hill is this concept of cancel culture. It used to be if you didn't like what was on the channel, you changed the channel. If you didn't like what was on the radio, you turned the radio off. If you didn't like the conversation, you walked away from it or just stood there and be quiet. We seem to have been embraced this concept of if something offends you or you don't want to hear it anymore, it's not change the channel. It's go get that channel taken off the air. It's I don't like this show. Get all the advertisers to boycott the show. I'd like us to roll that rock back up the hill. Maybe start that as a group a little bit. When we encounter that, when people talk like that, maybe we should suggest just moving on, helping the person understand it's just as valid to allow that opinion, position, or show to continue, and you move on. Go to the show you like. And let's not focus so much on canceling it just because you don't like it. I think sometimes these things become prevalent because no one speaks back. In the moment, one-on-one or in a small group, no one says, hey, the other idea is let's just turn the channel. Let's just stop this topic. Let's just move on to the next thing. Nip it in the bud sort of thing. If enough people do that, I think we'd actually start turning the tide on some of these subjects. Of course, I could be wrong, but I'd sure like us to try at the grassroots level to start rolling some of these rocks back up the hill. I'm a big fan of the do not go gentle into the good night. Let's fight the fight. Let's not lay down and just let things happen because we think it's a foregone conclusion or that the forces arrayed in the new way of talking or doing things is too strong for us to fight. I refute that. Let's push back little by little. And if we fail, at least we failed trying. It's pretty funny. The Amazon driver just left. It's pretty funny. Especially this time of year, most of the Amazon drivers, especially the temporary ones, are all both Baltimoreans from up in the city. He sticks some poor inner city kid in a van and send him out here into the country. They are so uncomfortable. It's hilarious because I try to talk to him and get to know him a little bit. I'm like, holy crap, I can't believe people live like this, out here. It's dark. There's no lights. It's so far down to the driveway. Everyone's got dogs. Oh, it's hilarious to hear how uncomfortable they are, because that is how I feel when I go into the inner city. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe people live like this. Everyone's crowded together. It's loud. It's bright lights all night long. People are angry and yelling and honking. It's just hilarious when they come down here and then say the exact same thing back to me. All right, folks. Well, I'm kind of getting dark out. We had a couple points. Got in here to say hi to you. I love being part of this crew as always. I'm going to append my pipe cleaning video to the end of this. I don't know if it'll be helpful at all, but it might actually make you feel superior, like, wow, that idiot does it like that. But I said I'd make it, so I did. So I'll stick it on the end of this video. I hope everyone's having a great weekend. Hope you had a good Saturday. Tomorrow's a little quieter, so hopefully we'll get to talk again tomorrow. Bye, you guys.
Hey guys, I just want to show you what it looks like in the evening out here in the back. So this is the fire pit I'm always filming at. In fact, there's today's stool and where the camera was. But I just thought I'd show you. I got some lights back here and lights, natural lights coming down, and my garden lights are up. They just look good. I just wanted to show it to you. That's it. The whole purpose of this is just show you the back of the house. All right, guys. I told you I was going to show you how I do my pipe cleaning, so that's what this is going to be. It's a little addendum to one of my videos, but here's what I do. Yeah, here's everything laid out. I've already got the pipe broken in half. Got my pipe tool, which I clean every time I clean my pipes. So I've got the cleaning solution. This is mutton chops. It is 80% Everclear, 20% Frangelica. Frangelica gives it a sweet smell and a little bit of a sweet taste. And the Everclear is an amazing cleaner. You'll see that in a minute. I have two types of pipe cleaners. I have soft bristle for my bit, and I have bristles, actual metal bristles in here for the pipes itself. I'm going to show you these. Hopefully this comes through. It's BJ Long. I buy them in 100 bags, both of them. And this is extra long tapered bristle pipe cleaners. There's 80 in this bag. Both of these come directly from Mutton Chop's video. This comes from Mutton Chop video. And then I've got a wet, damp, it's damp, it's not wet, paper towel. And then I've got a snack size bag, zipper bag, a Ziploc bag that I put everything in at the end, and I'll show you that as well. All right, so the first thing I do is I get my cleaning solution open, and I take my soft bristle pipe cleaners, and I clean the bit. I do it from the mouthpiece forward. See how black that is coming out? So I never run it towards my mouth. I run it away. And since that came out so dark, I'm gonna do it again. That's why I got two of these out. I haven't done this in a few days. But see how much cleaner that is? So you can see the difference between the first run and the second pass. That tells me it's clean enough for me, so I'm gonna set this aside now. And then I take my pipe cleaners and I just sort of discard them. And they just sit here in this little pile. So the next thing I do is I take my bristled pipe cleaners and I get it pretty wet. And I run it down into the pipe. And I give it a bit of a saw. See, some of that bits are coming out from last night's smoke. And you can see how black that is. So I turn around. I do the other side. And you don't do this on briar pipes, but on Mersums I clean off the rim. And then I start cleaning the bowl. And typically I just hold the pipe cleaner steady and move the bowl back and forth around it. And you'll see it's pretty nasty. So I just set it aside and I do it again. I just scrub it in the bowl. And I pretty much do this till the pipe cleaner comes out pretty clean. So there's pretty black again. Then I'm gonna pause you and I'll bring you back when I get a little bit further. Okay, so you can see the progression. I've done it now 6 times. You can see the progression from this very first one. It's getting cleaner and less black to this one where it's essentially clean. So I'm gonna do it one more time for you guys. Again, I just literally just hold the pipe cleaner still, move the pipe, and then I scrub it. You can see it's really not pulling anything out now. So I'll do the stem one more time for you guys. And you can see it's pretty much coming out clean. So look at this progression. And this tells me it's basically ready to move on. So you can see it took 7 bristled pipe cleaners to get it clean. If I do this every day, it really takes 3 or 4, but if I let it go several smokes, it'll take 8. 7 or 8 is typically what I find. So I'm just going to clean all this up and move on to the wipe down. Okay, so we're done with the solution. So I put the cap back on it because I'm an idiot and will dump it over if I'm not careful. So now when I take my wet paper towel, the first thing I do is clean the bit, clean the mouthpiece. I typically don't get much off of this, but it just feels good to do it. That's done. And this is where I clean my tool to make sure that just get all the mess off of it. So the tool's done, the mouthpiece is done, and now I'll do the bowl. My bowl is big enough that my little finger will get in there, so I get down in there. Just clean it out. You can see it gets pretty dirty. There's still quite a bit down in there so I'll do it again. And you can see the second clean, much cleaner. And I can do it again. I can actually feel the bottom of the bowl with my little finger. And now it's coming out pretty much clean. I'll wipe off the external. Make sure the rim is good. Give the top of the bowl a real good wipe down. That's really it. Put it back together. Clean pipe. I'm telling you, it is super clean in there, super nice. So the last thing I do is clean up. Just kind of get it all rolled up. You can probably see it's kind of messy there. So I take the paper towel and clean it up, and now I can wipe this all down. See, there's a nice clean working space back on my desk. And this is where the snack bag comes in. I do this for the rest of my family, not really for me, but so this doesn't smell. If you just throw that in the trash, it really makes your trash can smell bad. So my kids let me know that the trash smelled bad, so for the last 6 or 8 months I always put it in this little bag. So that's it. You have a greatly clean pipe, clean tool, clean trash, ready to go on with our day.